Hi, it's Jane. Oh boy, it's been a strange week. I think I had told you about the whole planning on doing some alterations to my jeans because I've reached a point in the weight loss that they're really loose and I need to do some things so I can continue to wear those. Well, I decided our thrift store every Sunday they have a certain color each week on Sundays and Mondays, where clothing is 99 cents each, and house goods, different things like that around the store are 39 cents each. Now I did pick up a tablecloth and some placemats that I have an idea that I would like to try something. And got those for 39 cents, the whole thing. And then I picked up a couple of other things. But I did find a couple pair of jeans. So, had a little bit of a thrift haul. A little bit of a darker jean here. And yeah, they're used. I don't care. And if I can't fit into them, I'll keep them until I can. Pick up a couple of shirts just because. Do I need more shirts? No. But those are also starting to get really loose. So, and that one, I kind of like that. That can be something that can be worn for church, And then this one I just picked up because I do like paisleys. And this is one of those kind of greenish, paisley-ish leaf ones. So, yeah, picked those up. And then while I was in there, found a couple patterns. Let me get those. For some reason, they're trying to elude me. Now, I picked up this one because, not because of the pants, but the vest initially. But I realized the shorts and the pants with this pattern, I could use those to make different things for Operation Christmas Child. But I just picked up the vest because it's a good idea to have a basic sometimes. This one I picked up because I do like that kind of look, the boat neck look, and very relaxed. And I have some linen that I'd like to make an outfit out of. And this one I picked up because of the jacket. Now, it does have the pants and the skirt and whatnot, but the jacket is an unlined jacket. And I like the look of that jacket. So, these were like 99 cents each. So, had a little bit of a thrift haul this weekend. Now, as far as items that I'm working on, this is the Afghan so far, and I probably do need to put a stitch marker on it. I have not been doing that, but I guess I should. So let me get one here and put it on there so I know where, what kind of progress I'm doing. I have no idea what that cat is doing. I'm hearing the cat meow and walking through the house. Ronan's a little restless today. He started taking his mouse into places that he doesn't normally take. I did start the shawl while I was listening at the concerts. And it is basically just, a solid piece now. I am working on getting it to a point where I can start doing the iris stitch for probably the remainder of the shawl. That is my goal with this shawl. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been up to this week. I hope you guys' week has been, productive. I just feel like sometimes I'm just, go running in circles, those kind of things. I know that's not true, but sometimes it feels like it. And there's no explanation on why that is. I think it's my own expectations, even 2 years after Thomas's death. For the 2 years prior to his death, most of that was spent with me driving, doing a lot of things that I've never done before, which took away from crochet time. And I'm not used to that. And so now, being in a household, having to do everything by myself, it just changes the whole dynamics. And sit down and crochet sometimes just doesn't happen, or even knit the way I would like it to do. Okay, are you ready for a little what in Tarnation? A couple of them are doozies. Police suspected suicide attempt was just a trucker trying to cool off. Gotta watch those truckers. Police, firefighters, and paramedics responded in force to the I am butchering that name, Moerdijk Bridge in the Netherlands, where they discovered a reported suicide attempt was actually just a trucker trying to cool off. The Dordrecht police wrote on social media that helicopter units responded alongside firefighters, EMS personnel, and the Royal Netherlands Sea Rescue Institution, after a man was reported to have parked his truck on the shoulder of the A16 highway and jumped from the bridge into the Holland's Diep River. Responders arrived to find the man had made his way to a ladder where he hailed a passing boat and got a lift back to shore. The jump was initially reported to be a suicide attempt, but the man gave police a different story. The Hungarian truck driver thought it was a beautiful, warm summer evening, just like we did, police wrote. When he arrived at the bridge, he thought it was time to cool off. The driver parked his truck on the highway shoulder and jumped off the bridge for a quick swim, only to quickly realize the water was more dangerous than he thought. The truck driver had learned another life lesson and received a ticket for parking on the shoulder and jumping off a bridge. Can you imagine if we did that in the U.S. for some of these people that do crazy, stupid things? How things would change. All right, firefighters hoist hefty horse out of a hole in Maryland. Firefighters in Maryland came to the rescue of a horse that attempted to walk over a wooden plank Thursday morning and ended up stuck in a hole about 8 to 10 feet deep. That's kind of scary. The Baltimore County Fire Department said on social media that rescue crews responded to a property on Hanover Road on Thursday morning when a horse walked over a wooden plank, which gave way and fell into an 8 to 10-inch foot hole. Firefighters teamed up with the Howard County Department of Fire and Rescue Services Special Ops crew to form a rescue plan. The equine was sedated, and rescuers ended up borrowing a crane from a local towing company to hoist the horse out of the hole. The horse did not appear to be injured, but was placed in the care of a veterinarian while it recovered from the sedative. How many of us would like to go diamond mine hunting? I would. I think it might be fun, especially if you find one of these. And again, it's the Arkansas diamonds. New York woman finds 2.3 carat gem at Arkansas crater of diamonds. And I've been there several times, never found the diamond. A New York woman visited Arkansas crater of Diamond State Park to find a stone for her engagement ring and wound up discovering 2.3 carat white diamond. Manhattan resident Michelle Fox said she decided about 2 years ago she would find her own engagement ring diamond. There's something symbolic about being able to solve problems with money, but sometimes money runs out in a marriage, Fox said in an Arkansas State Park news release. You need to be willing and able to solve these problems with hard work. Fox said her partner supported her decision and agreed to wait until she found the right stone. I was willing to go anywhere in the world to make that happen, she said. I researched and it turned out that the only place in the world to do it was right in our own backyard in Arkansas. Thank goodness for that. Fox planned a 3-week trip to the park that began July the 8th. She spent hours searching for the perfect diamond every day, but it wasn't until July 29th, the last day of her visit, that she spotted something along the west drain of the park's 37.5-acre diamond search area. It's that big. That's a lot of acreage. The searcher said she initially thought the object was merely the sun glistening off the dew on a spider web, but when she nudged it with her boot, she realized it was something solid. Having never seen an actual diamond in my hands, I didn't know for sure, but it was the most diamondy diamond I'd seen, she recalled. Fox took her find to the Diamond Discovery Center where the staff confirmed she had found a 2.3 carat white diamond, also known as a colorless diamond. Got on my knees and cried, then started laughing, she said. Fox, who is now planning to have the stone set in her engagement ring, named her gem the Fox Baloo Diamond, combining her partner's last name with her own. Miss Fox's story highlights the fact that even when putting forth your best effort, being in the right place at the right time plays a part in finding diamonds. Crater of Diamonds State Park Assistant Superintendent Wayman Cox said, after weeks of hard work, Miss Fox found her diamond sitting right on top of the ground. I don't know if you can hear those cats in the background. They are going at it. Seems like it's going to be a day where they're just aggravated with each other all day long. Children, 2-year-olds. Sheep escapes slaughter, runs loose through Chicago streets. Drivers and pedestrians in Chicago's West Loop area experienced an unusual traffic hazard when a sheep ran loose through the city streets. The sheep was spotted running through traffic near the Fulton Market District on Monday, and several witnesses captured video of the animal being pursued by apparent slaughterhouse employees. Social media users reported the sheep had apparently escaped from the Halsted packing house by crashing through a window. What a way to escape. Chicago Animal Care and Control personnel were able to corral the sheep and load it into their van. They did not have an adequate facility to house such an animal. However, it was taken to Chicago Chicken Rescue in the Woodland neighborhood on the city's south side. Christine Solano, the rescue's co-founder, said the sheep is the first of its species to come to the rescue in its 15 years of operation. He was at a slaughterhouse in Chicago and managed to escape and find his way to the main administrative office, then smashed through a glass window and ended up roaming the streets of Chicago. She said the sheep's origins were confirmed by a slaughterhouse marking on its back. Solano said she is now trying to find a new home where the sheep can live out the rest of its life in comfort. We're looking for a home for the sheep, a more permanent home on a farm that has other sheep, she said. Wouldn't that be special to get some wool from that sheep eventually? And now our next and last story comes from the annals of what in the sci-fi world is going on. Would you use a robot surrogate? China develops the world's first pregnancy humanoid that's capable of giving birth to a live baby. It is a concept that currently only exists in sci-fi movies, but scientists in China are developing the world's first pregnancy robot, capable of carrying a baby to term and giving birth. The humanoid will be equipped with an artificial womb that receives nutrients through a hose, experts said. Prototype is expected to be released next year with a selling price of around 100,000 yen, which is 10,000 pounds sterling. Then I'm going to butcher these names, so I apologize. Dr. Zhang Kuifeng, who founded the company Kiowa Technology, is developing the machine. The device he envisions is not simply an incubator, but a humanoid that can replicate the entire process from conception to delivery, Asian media outlets report. He said the artificial womb technology is already in a mature stage and now needs to be implanted in the robot's abdomen so that a real person and the robot can interact to achieve pregnancy. With regards to ethical and legal issues, he said, we have held discussion forums with authorities in Guangdong province and submitted related proposals while discussing policy and legislation. Experts have not yet provided any specifics on how the egg and sperm are fertilized and implanted in the artificial womb. Westworld? I don't know. Dr. Zhang's revelations were made during an interview shared on Douyin, the Chinese version of TikTok. News of the development sparked intense discussion across Chinese social media, with critics condemning the technology as ethically problematic and unnatural. Many argued that depriving a fetus of maternal connection was cruel, while questions were raised about how eggs would be sourced for the process. However, many showed support for the innovation, viewing it as a means to spare women from pregnancy-related suffering. One wrote, many families pay significant expenses for artificial insemination, only to fail, so the development of the pregnancy robot contributes to society. Previously, scientists have successfully kept premature lambs alive for weeks using an artificial womb that looks like a plastic bag. The biobag provided everything the fetus needed to continue growing and maturing, including a nutrient-rich blood supply and protective sac of amniotic fluid. After 28 days of being in the bag, the lambs, which otherwise would likely have died, had put on weight and grown wool. While the biobag acts like an incubator, allowing premature individuals to grow in an environment similar to the womb, scientists hope the pregnancy robot will be able to support the fetus from conception to delivery. Since the 1970s, feminist activists such as Andrea Dworkin have been strongly opposed to the use of artificial wombs on the grounds that it could lead to the end of women. That's doubtful. In 2012, Ms. Dworkin wrote, women already have the power to eliminate men and in their collective wisdom have decided to keep them. The real question now is, will men, once the artificial womb is perfected, want to keep women around? In 2022, a group of researchers from the Children's Hospital of Philadelphia, who have been developing artificial wombs, published an article on the ethical considerations of technology. The researchers wrote, "A concern is that it could lead to a devaluation or even pathologizing of pregnancy and may diminish women's experience of deriving meaning, empowerment, and self-fulfillment from this unique aspect of female biology." Earlier this year, however, a survey showed that 42% of people aged 18 to 24 said they would support growing a fetus entirely out of a woman's body. The development is reminiscent of the 2023 film The Pod Generation, where a tech giant offers couples the option of using detachable artificial wombs or pods to share pregnancy. If it comes to fruition, the humanoid pregnancy could be seen as a tool to help tackle rising rates of infertility in China. Reports suggest that the rates of infertility in China rose from 11.9% in 2007 to 18% in 2020. That's worldwide. It's worldwide, folks. In response, local governments in China are including artificial insemination and in vitro fertilization treatments in medical insurance coverage to support childbirth for infertile couples. Now, I think that should be added into our insurance in the U.S. But what are your thoughts on that? I question the ability for parents to bond to this child and some of the psychological things. When a woman is carrying this baby, many times she might be rubbing her belly or talking to the baby, reading out loud, those kind of things, because she may feel that it helps the child stimulate the baby. Are you going to have that kind of interaction with a robot? I don't know. Next few years should be interesting. That's all I'm going to say. And, there's a part of me that says China has this rule about only allowing one child, and they prefer males over females, so sometimes you wonder if they create their own infertility issues. All right, now it's time for our devotion. This comes from With God, I Always Have Hope. And I think I am going to need my glasses today. It's kind of cloudy, which I wasn't expecting today. And that affects my eyesight. Every prophecy fulfilled. For the law made nothing perfect. On the other hand, there is the bringing in of better hope, through which we draw near to God. Hebrews 7:19. Did you know that Jesus fulfilled over 350 identifiable Old Testament prophecies that clearly showed he was the Messiah? Israel's Messiah was foretold in Old Testament prophecy thousands of years before Jesus' arrival as a babe in Bethlehem. The Messiah was expected to fulfill these prophecies and to deliver Israel from its oppressors, like his physical and spiritual ancestor, King David. And there you can see Luke 1, verses 32 through 34. Although Jesus did not come as the earthly warrior the Israelites expected, he fulfilled each Old Testament prophecy with precision and eternal glory beyond what his people could have imagined. Jesus also laid the foundation for a new covenant, defined by its better promises. And you can see that in Hebrews 8:6. And he uttered new prophecies of an eternity with God for his followers, complete with an end to sorrow and gold-paved streets. And that comes from Revelation 21:21. When we assemble all the evidence surrounding Jesus' earthly life against the backdrop of prophecy found throughout the Old Testament, we begin to see a glimpse of the magnitude of the God revealed throughout the Bible. Since God has shown a perfect track record of fulfilling his prophetic words, you can trust that every New Testament promise and prophecy will be fulfilled beyond your ability to imagine. Ephesians 3:20. Reflect. If God is the same yesterday, today, and forever, what does that mean for me and my walk with him? Pray. Father, I praise you for fulfilling each prophecy you gave about Jesus. May these fulfilled words point me to your faithfulness, so that I may hope in your ability to fulfill the prophecy of things to come. Let me become increasingly aware of the unshakable nature of your promises, so I can walk with ever-increasing confidence in you. Declare. God fulfills every prophecy. Act. Search the internet for prophecies Jesus fulfilled and highlight some of them in your Bible. That is a great thing to consider doing. All right, guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you got something out of it. I hope you enjoyed it. And by all means, share your thoughts on what you think about robots having wombs to carry babies into this next generation. See you again soon. Bye.